Good morning, everyone. My wife is currently with her parents, so Woody and I are alone at home and I'm going to prepare him some food. So damn, I thought I pushed record when I started this segment, but I guess I did not. So what I just was been saying when I kind of played out the scene that I wanted actually to record is I told you that we are feeding Woody with BARF, which is the acronym for biologic something raw feeding, which means you give your dog raw meat, some vegetables, some supplements, kind of creating the eating habit as if your pet would be outside or living in the wild, basically. And it's much better for your pet because obviously it doesn't have any kind of processing and you kind of dial in what your pet is actually needing, and it is very individually created or dialed in for the specific pet. And since my wife always prepares it in advance in this Tupperware and we put it into the freezer, it is really important to kind of warm it up a little bit. I mean, obviously you don't heat it up to kind of cook it, but rather you make sure that it isn't too cold when your pet is eating it, because pets are basically also just like humans, that if you eat something too cold in the morning, then there is the potential that your stomach might cramp up a little bit. And let's be real, cold food isn't that great. So we always kind of prepare it in this metal bowl and then kind of slowly warm it up in another bowl with hot water. And we do that before we go, or during the time we are doing the morning rounds with Woody. So I'm just preparing that right now. Then I'm going to wake him up and then we are going on a walk.
Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Way to make it work and find another route.
So one thing my wife and I really make sure when we are leaving the house, we don't let Woody just basically, once we open the door, let him run out. So it's really important that you make yourself a habit a little bit with your pet, that when you open the door, it's not an invitation to just run out. Stop. Bleib. Look, Woody. Okay. And I think that is a very important thing, because sometimes you just open the door because someone is ringing the door, or you potentially want to leave to go to grocery shopping, but your pet is staying at home. So it's really important that your pet kind of learns, okay, when the front door is opening, that doesn't mean that you straight away run out. So it's really good to kind of teach your pet, okay, if the door opens, you stop, you kind of need to double check with me. Okay, look at me and ask me if it's okay to go outside, and then you can invite your dog to go outside. It's just a good habit, but it's also somewhat of a safety habit, a safety habit. All right, so we're back home, and since Woody is allowed to go on the couch, we always kind of clean his paws, but also make sure that nothing is lodged in between his paws, like, I don't know, glass, stone, sometimes this, I don't know what the English word is, this grass that actually can dig into the skin, these really long ones. So I always double check, clean again, as I said, clean the paws, especially when it's wet outside. It is really important to also dry up the paws and the in-betweens, just to make sure that it's not getting like, I'm not sure about the English terminology, but you don't want to have like moist areas in between his paws where it kind of creates some mold or anything. And really important, when you get home, we always feed Woody, but also back then Happy and Nemo, always after walking. So kind of imagine when you're walking your dog, it's like going on a hunt, right? And you kind of walk first and then eat. We also don't really like to, that's kind of simulating how animals are doing it in the wild, so going hunting and then eating. You wouldn't go eat and then go hunt, and also it's not that great to go walking with a full stomach. That is the reason why we always feed Woody after the walk. However, it is really important, just like when you are working out. After working out, you wouldn't go right away and eat a steak, right? So you wait until you kind of arrive, until you're breathing and your heart rate goes down. So we just arrived, but I will give him at least 5 to 10 minutes to kind of calm down, arrive, and then he gets his food. Okay, so now I'm preparing his food. Woody is still waiting outside, so I don't want to prepare it while he's standing here getting all excited. So he's in the front door area, or how you call it, and I'm preparing his food. It is warmed up a little, so it's not hot, but it's not as cold as it would be coming straight out of the freezer. And because he's a Labrador, let's be real, Labradors are kind of like hoovers, like vacuum cleaners. They kind of suck up basically the food. We always use a slow feeder just to make sure he consumes or eats his food as slowly as possible. The reason being is if a dog kind of eats up his food way too fast, so just like a vacuum cleaner, he sucks up also a lot of air and creates a lot of air bubbles in his stomach, which is the reason for either burping, farting, or not good digestion. So it is really important, or it is a good suggestion to use a slow feeder just to make sure he eats not as fast as he potentially could, and therefore not create too many air bubbles and not sucking in too much unnecessary air. So with this, as you can see here, he needs to use his tongue and kind of licks out the food from these little grooves instead of kind of like biting into the bowl and then also kind of sucking in a lot of air. So this is a really good habit. I mean, just like our parents said, like, oh, you need to eat slowly. That's basically similar. So I'm preparing that. I mean, it's a little bit tedious. You gotta kind of fill in the food into these grooves. I'm not going to show you this because I don't know if anyone is kind of grossed out by raw meat going into this. And it's also a little bit tedious to clean, but it's all for the dog. My dog, at least, is kind of like my child, and I want to kind of take care of him as good as possible. I want him to live as long and healthy as possible. I've seen so many people, and that's a little bit of a rant, that from my perspective don't really take care of their dogs, and they just say, oh, it's just a dog. And I don't agree, but I would argue if that is your perspective on your own pet that gives you so much back, then at least be a little bit egoistical. And I don't condone this, but I'm just saying, for me, a dog is like a child. It's a family member. It's a gang member basically, and I want to take care of everyone in my gang. And if you don't consider your pet somewhat like a family member, then at least be a little bit egoistic. Take care of your dog so you in the future don't have so many veterinary bills. If your dog is healthy and you take care of your dog, then you avoid so many unnecessary and very expensive veterinary bills in the future. And I've seen so many people not taking care of their dogs, and you see how they not slowly, unfortunately, I see that with so many dogs here. You see how they degrade over time, and you see those health issues arise very surely. And I just know how expensive those bills at the veterinary are going to be. So even if you don't love your dog as much as I do, and you don't take care of your dog, for example, my neighbor's dog, that dog is, I feel so sad for him. You can hear him barking because they leave him at home all of the time, all alone in the garden. He doesn't get any proper food. They sometimes feed him with noodles, which, if you don't know, is really bad for a dog. If you don't love your dog, at least consider the consequences of your action. If you don't take care of your dog, he or she will get sick, and let me tell you, veterinary bills they are crazy expensive, especially here in Germany. It's really expensive. So I would say, even if you are not as crazy like I am or my wife, we love our dogs, at least consider that. Consider your consequences of not taking care of your pet. It will get very expensive. And honestly, don't be a dick. Just take care of your dog. It's just like a child. If you are man or female enough to bring a child into the world, be man or female enough to take care of that child. And it's the same thing with a pet. If you think that you buy yourself a pet, then at least take care of that pet. If you don't have the capacity to take care of your pet or a child, then just don't get one. Don't. It's not the end of the world. You don't need a pet. And truth to be told, you don't need a child if you can't take care of it. It's just easy as that. It's don't be egoistical and tell yourself, oh, I'm going to get a pet or a child or whatever. A living being. Let's break it down to this. Don't bring a living being into your life if you cannot take care of it. It's just as simple as that. All right, that was a little bit of a rant, but let me just finish this and then feed Woody. Okay. All right, so now it's time for me to eat something. I didn't eat something, I worked out and just went outside, and I'm just going to make myself some huel and yeah, start the day. I know this probably wasn't a kind of vlog where you were able to learn anything about YouTube and filmmaking, but just like the vlog yesterday, I think this is a really good example of what you could do in a vlog, because as I said yesterday, I'm currently at the point where I'm a little bit struggling to find topics to kind of make into vlogs, or at least into these big vlogs or in these teachable moments. But I think this still is a good example of what you can vlog about. And more importantly, as I've been hitting the 100 daily vlog marks, I was really telling myself, okay, I'm going to challenge myself in creating these vlogs with a lot of more edits and a lot of more b-roll. And I hope I kind of achieved this with this vlog, just like the vlog yesterday, to just film as much as possible and then make it into a vlog. And even though this potentially doesn't have a lot of kind of interesting things for some of you, maybe, but if you are a pet owner, maybe it was still interesting. I think it is a good takeaway for you to kind of see, okay, there are some mundane moments in my life that I could kind of craft into a small little vlog, no matter how mundane and how boring it might be. It is really good as an exercise to kind of practice how you could kind of make a vlog. And for me as well, it's good to kind of practice these small little vlogs and hopefully kind of develop them more into something that also from message kind of wise has more a teachable moment. But I guess the vlog yesterday and this vlog, although as I said yesterday, they could be considered fillers, I would say for me, this is practice. For you, this hopefully is some inspiration where you can see, okay, he is doing a very regular task, but is crafting it into a hopefully interesting vlog. All right, maybe also check out the vlog yesterday in the video up here, or the vlog the day before, which I'm actually pretty proud of, where I was telling you, ditch the phone, get yourself a retro gaming device. Oh, maybe I put that one up here because it's a little bit cooler. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. And don't forget, help me to get to 1,000 subscribers, hit the like button, and maybe consider subscribing by clicking the button up here. I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.